Hello and welcome to Kizzy's Homestead. Today I'm going to talk about recycling and repurposing plastic bottles. There's several ways that I do this, and I'm sure you've probably seen quite a few of them before. But the first thing I do is I make sure that everything is sanitized, and vinegar is the best way to do that when the plastic bottle is going to be used for drinking water or some type of food or drink that you're going to put in your body. So I buy vinegar in the gallon containers, and here are two empty gallon containers that had vinegar in it before, and I repurposed those by putting some emergency water in those gallon jugs. These are some other bottles that I use to recycle, and I'm sure you recognize these brands. There is Gatorade, Sprite Zero, and just water. And when those bottles are empty, I repurpose them and I use them for drinking water, emergency drinking water. In fact, I just use them for drinking water, period, because where I live, I have a private well and I have to filter my water before I drink it. So when it comes out of the faucet, I put it through my zero water filter, and then I fill these bottles up with water for drinking. So I'm showing you here about the caps. When you're using these plastic bottles, it's important to keep the original cap that was on the bottle, and I'll show you why. Now listen very carefully for the snap. Yes. That tells you that this bottle is sealed and no water is going to leak out of it. Now, I've already tried it before using different bottle caps with other bottles, and it never works out. The seal is not quite the same. So keep your caps on your bottles so that you can use the same cap again. Since I am refilling water bottles, I want to make sure that I can differentiate the new bottles of water from the store from the recycled bottles that I filled up with filtered water. So what I do is I remove all the labels first, and when I do buy a case of bottled water from the store, I keep those with the labels on it so that I can serve those to guests. And I use the recycled bottles of water for myself and for my emergency water supply. So I remove those labels, and the next thing that I do after I remove the labels is I wash the bottles out with some hot water, and I just use it as hot as I can stand it on my hands. I don't boil it, and because that would compromise the plastic. So hot water, just hot to my hand water, and I rinse those bottles out with the water. And after I rinse them out, I put about a tablespoon of vinegar in each bottle, put the cap on and shake it up, rinse it again, rinse and pour that vinegar out. And once I pour that vinegar out, I just put the caps back on and let it sit overnight. There will be some little residual amount of vinegar in the bottle, and I just let it sit overnight. I don't know why I do that, but I just feel some comfort in seeing the vinegar sort of steam up in the bottle. and then after that, the next day, I put some fresh water in there again, some fresh filtered water, and rinse the bottle out one more time. And then I fill it with filtered water and put that cap on nice and tight, and then I store it. So here you see two bottles that are filled up with my filtered water. Nice and clean, caps on nice and tight, and I put them in my extra little refrigerator to keep them cold and to reserve them for when I need them. And as you can see, they are laying on their side. Nothing is spilling out because those caps are on very, very tightly. I reuse any type of drink container that can be thoroughly cleaned to store my emergency water. as you can see here in my little fridge. Another purpose for these soft water bottles, I started thinking about it, and I thought if I have to bug out someday, I may need an extra drinking container. But carrying a whole bunch of containers is bulky in your pack. So as you know, these water bottles can crush down into a small space, and that's what I'm showing you right here. I crushed several water bottles, kept the caps on them. I'd already sterilized them, and I kept the caps on them, and I dropped them in my bug out bag. Why would I need that? Well, if I needed to take some medicine, or if I needed to mix something, I have an extra container to do that. If someone wanted a drink of water and I didn't have an extra container, these are perfect for that because it's been sterilized, so it's ready to use. So I just threw that in my container, into my bug out bag, and I'm sure there will be some reasons to use that later on down the line. Also, these Gatorade containers, they are 28 ounces, I think. And 3 of those is my daily supply of water. So on a daily basis, I just drink out of that. I fill those up with water and I drink those. I use them all the time just so I can get enough liquid in my body. I also use them to make my own soft drinks at home. I buy lemon in a lemon juice. I couldn't even think. I buy lemon juice in a large container. It's concentrated, and I can make my own lemonade. Also, I can buy a jug of iced tea, like a gallon jug, and use that in these containers to make my own soft drinks. I like to do that because usually when it comes from the store, it's too sweet for me, and I like to put water in it anyway. So I fill up the bottle with half water and half of the lemonade, or half water and half of the iced tea, or whatever it is. Okay. I am a big coffee drinker. I love coffee, and I love to have these flavored additives in my coffee, like vanilla and hazelnut. These have become quite expensive these days, so I haven't bought any for several months now. But I have been saving the bottles, and the bottles are quite nice. You know, they're a great size, and they can be repurposed for many things. The thing I like most about these bottles is that it has 2 different types of caps. Here I'm showing you that it has like a flat cap, just a regular screw-on cap. And it also has a cap similarly the same, but it has a flip top and a pour spout. And that is my favorite bottle to repurpose. Whenever I buy these in the store in the past, I would go out of my way to find the ones that have the flip top cap and the pour spout, because those can be used in so many great ways. So here I'm showing you that I repurposed this by putting in it some dishwashing liquid, and perfect for this flip top because I can pour some dishwashing liquid and then snap that cap back on. I don't bother to sanitize these bottles. I just take the label off and I wash them out thoroughly because what I'm putting in it is not an edible, so it doesn't matter. And then I put new labels on. So here you see 2 items that sit on my sink all the time. There's some vinegar and there is some dishwashing liquid. And they both have the flip top cap. Yeah, I love those bottles. And then the last bottle that I want to talk about today that I recycle all the time. Once again, these are also flavorings to go in my coffee. And I buy these in a huge container. This container is really, really tall. It looks like it's the same size as the others in the picture, but actually it's about twice the size. It's 25 fluid ounces. And what I do with that is Once again, I use it for things that are not edible, so I don't bother to sanitize it, but I take all the labeling off of it. And in this particular video, you'll see that I repurposed it by putting some Epsom salt in it. And I take that and I put that in the bathroom so that I can always have some Epsom salts to put in my bath. Now, when I buy Epsom salt, I buy it in bulk, and so it's kind of a mess to always have this great big bulky bag that you got to scoop the Epsom salt out of. But if I put it in this container, it's just so perfect. It's a nice, large enough pour container that I can use to put a dash of my Epsom salt in the bath. So I was thinking about other ways to use that bottle, and I thought it would be nice to be able to take 3 bottles like that and attach them somehow inside the shower, or maybe they can sit in those caddies in the shower. And in that you could have some body wash, you could have some Epsom salt, you could have some shampoo, you could have some conditioner, and reuse these large bottles. Now, just one quick end note. Sometimes I'm quite lazy about labeling my bottles because I'm the only one using them. But I had guests over the other day and they were constantly asking, what is this? What is that? So for safety of the kids and for the family, make sure that you label your repurposed bottles so that everyone knows what's in there. You don't want anyone to mistake it for food or drink or something and hurt themselves. So with that, I'm going to say I hope that something that I shared was helpful to you, and I hope that you are finding ways to save money regardless to what's going on in the economy. Just keep on squeezing that penny. You're going to find ways to repurpose so many things that we already use. All right, have a great day. This is Kizzy's Homestead. See you next time.